good evening to all of you. Once again, it's lovely to see all of you, and I just wish that we could have done this in person. Hopefully sometime soon we will do it. And we are extremely, extremely thrilled to have you all join us for the launch of this magazine, of our first Maitri Magazine. Right, this has been a long cherished dream of ours, and we had been wanting to do this for a long, long time, and finally it came to fruition over the last year. It took us almost a year to get this to the stage where we are today, to be able to unveil it for all of you. This was an opportunity for us to showcase our survivors and the advocates who work with survivors, to showcase their talents and their creativity. We wanted to provide a platform for that, and this is just a small beginning towards that end. When we started the journey last year, first thing we wanted to talk about was what would we call this magazine, right? So we went back and forth. There were few different titles proposed, but finally we settled on Udaan, the flight, because it meant a lot to us, right? The word Udaan means flight. And what are we referring to here when we say flight? For our survivors, it is flight away from their abuse and flight towards a life filled with possibilities. And for the advocates who work with them, it is like you're there alongside them, flying along with them, a part of the way to enable them to really spread out their wings and move on higher, or you're just giving them that little bit of fillip to just fly away. So that's why it's really seemed apt for us to use the word Udaan for our magazine. And since this is our first magazine, we wanted to dedicate it to our co-founder, Anjali Dujari, whom we lost, unfortunately, in 2013. And we wanted to start off today's session with a dedication to Anjali by Mukta. Mukta, please say a few words about Anjali and then read out that poem.
Yeah, she was very, very special. She was God's gift and a gift to Maitri, and Maitri itself is a gift from her to us, to the community. She would have been so proud of this moment. The poem that I'm reading out was a poem that we wrote nearly 10 years ago when she passed, when she was lost to us. And you will hear in the poem tremendous fear and tremendous sorrow. We were all really afraid about what the future held. And you will find that in these words. 9 years later, we've really come out stronger. And yet she's present in every single milestone that we have at Maitri. So here goes. Anjali means a divine offering, by the way. I wait for you. In the hush of early dawn, hope sings strong. By twilight visions of you color each tear shed in grief. I click on your Facebook page, call your phone again, hoping to find footprints I missed earlier. Your voice at the other end. Others who love you do the same. In panic, we seek each other out. Who else but you could be so much to so many all at once? Okay, something changed on the screen and I lost my poem. So I am going to stop for a second. And find this on my phone. All right. Who else but you could be so much to so many all at once? We search within each story a sketch of our very own Anjali. Some tales we share joyously, greedy for morsels, your happy laughter, your sage counsel, your zest for travel, your careful dressing spiked with edgy garnishes. But very soon we panic again. We don't want stories about you. We want you. Our world is upside down, tilted over without you. You, Anjali, a divine gift. How many gifts you leave us, yourself, a lighthouse beaming lost voyages to shore. In the midst of angst, you with the calm repose of the moon, the fluff of clouds, light, yet heavy with promise. In the graveyard stillness of hate, the timbre of your voice, luminous as moonflower, as soft, ricochets through this world, healing hurts, righting wrongs. The salt-scented draw of your breath stirs 1,000 fields and bursts pollen to fruit. How does your tiny bird-like exquisiteness contain such a Goliath, hold such fierce resolve, so much wisdom? Anjali, a divine gift. How many gifts you leave us. Your daughters, their feet planted firm and sure as yours, eyes ablaze with the same light that sparkles in yours. Your mission, true, intense, to see a more just world, to speak for the forgotten. Other hands carry it still, but still draw from your ardor. Golden embers warming the sands long after sundown. Anjali, God's own messenger, you will tame those rogue waters, you will ride the surf into divine light, and you will calm your beautiful gaze, the torment, the turmoil of your new world. Somewhere there will be a place far richer for having you in it. And here we will find your voice again, for a resonance such as yours could never be stilled. So much of your beauty still remains. So much of your beauty still remains.
Thank you, Mukta. That was really, I know we are all moved and some of us are also in tears because Anjali meant a lot to us and she continues to inspire us. And I can say it for myself and for many of my colleagues who work at Maitri, that she continues to inspire us each and every day as we do our work. So I'm just giving a moment for everybody to just come on. I'm sure Anjali is looking down from above and she's smiling at us and she's probably asking, why are you shedding tears, right? Please continue doing what you're doing with the same strength and with the same courage is what I think Anjali will be telling us all today. And she has always told us. So we are always eternally grateful to have had her as our leader and our guiding light, and she continues to be our guiding light. Thank you, Anjali. And now moving on from this, I would hand it over to Zakia to talk a little bit about this whole journey of Udaan that we have gone through.
Thank you, Jaya. Thank you, Mukta. I had a prepared speech, but I don't know if I can go ahead with it, but I'll just keep it short because we have few other speakers as well. First of all, I want to start by thanking few people. First of all is, of course, the Maitri Board, and especially Rama, who is always going along with certain crazy ideas that we have. The staff members go to her and we say, we can do this. Rama, this is exciting. We can do this. It's going to be great. And never once she will discourage us in a way to crush our spirits. She might bring up some challenges, and if we have the answers, she will come along with us. So this was one of those projects. And also thanks to the Asia Pacific Fund, who believed in this and who trusted us to bring the survivors' voices, to make something beautiful with it, to present to the world. So absolutely a big thank you to the Asia Pacific Fund. the staff members at Maitri, every one of us, I don't want to name anybody's name because I may leave somebody by mistake. All of us, we have played parts in it, smaller or larger, but we are all in this magazine. And most of all, and not the least, our survivors. We found this outlet for them when we were stuck in a pandemic. You know, since 2020 March, we have been stuck in front of these computers where we are interacting with each other for a long time. Now things are opening up. But what happened for many of our survivors, that one yearly party that Maitri used to host with our clients, many of them actually look forward to it because that was their outlet to come sing and dance, just to be free, just to dress up for once and forget about their worries. But because of the pandemic, we were not able to offer that for some time. So we thought maybe we cannot bring them to us, we cannot go closer to them, but maybe we can connect at a deeper level. And that's how this idea started. Whoever loves to draw, we said, hey, let's do some artwork. Let's take care of your heart and soul. Let's write a poem. What is your favorite recipe? What is your favorite prayer? When you are hurting, what do you look up to? What's your favorite movie? What is the childhood memory that brings smile to your faces? So these are some of the things that we talked to our survivors with, gave them an outlet. And we also talked to each other because we took care of each other during the pandemic. The staff members, we created our own self-care space because we were stuck at all of our homes with all these traumatic work experience every day, where in the next room, someone may have a young child waiting for the mom to finish the work hour and jump into some games. So taking this traumatic vicarious trauma, right? We all know about it. Taking this trauma out of our system. We did so many things. This is one of those things. So I invite you to look at our magazine. Tell us what you think. Read our survivors' contributions. So much of wisdom from everyday person. So much of resilience seeping through all the work that they have shared with us. Jaya, may I request you to share your screen and just a quick flip through before we share the link with you to look at it at your own time properly. This is in our website. The cover artist is with us today, Sylvia Reshmin. After I finish, she will say a few words. And in the cover, as you can see, we have tried to use many different languages saying Udaan. Jaya already talked about the meaning of the word, why we chose it. Jaya, move on. Just keep on flipping. I'll just, we don't want to take too much time. I'm sure everybody would love to take a look. And then, of course, the beautiful poem we just heard. There are poems from our survivors. Beautiful poems, insightful. It will pick you up. It will make you sad. These artworks are from our survivors. And then we also have one ethnic art from our own Vishali. Conversations. These are the conversations that we had on Zoom, on telephone over many, many months about their favorite activities, how they were taking care of themselves. Read it, it will bring smile to your face. Cherish childhood memories. And so many things that are common with all of us, and yet so many things that are unique. Favorite food. And then we have our staff members sharing some of the other things. Recipes. It's really, really interesting. The sweets. And then there is a vegetable curry dish also. I haven't tried any of these, but if you are a foodie, you may want to try. Reflections by our staff members, beautiful reflections. I'm so blessed to work with all these insightful, wise women. I consider myself very lucky that I get to spend time with these people every day. So I invite you to look at the magazine after the program. Let's hear what other people have to say. Now I'm going to call on Sylvia first to share a little bit, if she's ready, and then Shilpa, who designed our magazine. Shilpa has spent a lot of time. So Sylvia, I see that you are really taking care of your baby. Just say a little bit, and then we'll let you go.
Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Zakia, just 1 minute, Sylvia. Zakia, just before you say, I just had one more thing to say. First of all, thank you so much for describing the whole journey so eloquently, as always. One of the things we wanted to do today was also to put the spotlight on the designers, because one is getting content and then having all the content, but designing it's its own separate journey, which takes a long time, because visually it has to appeal to so many people, right? And they have to be accepting of our feedback and being very good about accepting our feedback and keep doing things over and over again. Our cover page, the way we visualized it and the way we thought about it, we had an artist, Sylvia Reshmin, who actually put our thoughts into this beautiful design of a bird. We also wanted to showcase some of the bird in different languages. So she was able to do that. And so now I would ask Sylvia to say a couple of words on what this journey meant to her.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll be a little low in volume because I'm trying to put my baby to sleep. But thank you so much for having me in this conversation. And thank you so much for Zakia for giving me this opportunity to work with different languages as a calligraphy artist for the first time. And I didn't know that this would be the Maitri's first publication. So I'm really thrilled that first publication had my work. And it was really daunting at the beginning to try different South Asian languages to calligraphy, because I mostly do my own language and also English, but I never tried any other languages. But it gave me opportunity, gave me understand different types of languages and how it evolved from Sanskrit and from other origins. So it is very insightful in terms of the artist work. Thank you so much for giving me that opportunity. I really liked it.
Thank you, Sylvia. That was it was a beautiful piece of art. Thank you so much. And now next I will move on to Shilpa. And the first thing I want to say to Shilpa is, what will we do without you? She put in so much of time and effort despite the busy, hectic work schedule that she had. She used to do it in between. She would say, tonight I have this much of time, I can work on few of the pages. And she really put her heart and soul in bringing this. The entire creativity, the design of the magazine is all Shilpa's. And thank you very much, Shilpa. And please say a few words.
Thanks, Jaya. Following big footsteps, I'm nervous. Hi, everyone. So glad to be here for this amazing event to witness Udaan being unveiled. First off, I want to thank Zakia and Jaya for this incredible opportunity, for trusting me with this huge project, and most importantly, for being patient with me throughout the process. The process itself was mostly fun, but every once in a while, there was some push and pull. One, with progress. Both Jaya and Zakia had to exercise so much patience because I was basically moving at a snail's pace due to my day job. At one point, I think Jaya gave up and got into the design tool herself and designed it. So I can't really take credit that I designed this newsletter. It was Jaya and me both. The second is, and this is a tricky one, it's the design itself. Design is very subjective. My design sense is vastly different from someone else's. So as a result, all three of us, Jaya, Zakia, and I, we went back and forth several times, and then we finally were able to arrive at what you see today. Design elements that all three of us are happy with, more or less. Lots of compromises on their end. And eventually, I'm extremely proud of this little baby. I think I would rank this #1 among all of my other design projects. Finally, I'll end by saying this. Every single Maitri project I've been given or have been involved with Nandini, with all of you, it's been a real gift. being associated with an incredible organization like Maitri is truly an honor. So a big thank you for this opportunity. I really enjoyed designing it, and I hope all of you like it. Thank you.
Thank you, Shilpa. As I said, we could not have done this without you. Thank you very much. And I would like to give a huge shout out to Bishaka, because she's right now involved in actually getting the magazines printed, right? While it might seem easy to say, oh, we'll get a magazine printed, there is so much of back end work that needs to be done to coordinate with the printers, making sure, getting the proofs, getting everything ready. So Bishaka is working on it, and pretty soon we'll also have the print copies available. Thank you very much, Bishaka.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Yeah, now I wanted to talk a little bit more about the content that we did, right? When we thought of this and we designed this whole magazine, we got contributions both from our survivors and from the advocates who work with survivors. There were a few conversations that went around between us saying that, oh, should we highlight the fact that some of what creations are done by survivors and what are done by the staff, right? There were some suggestions saying that, okay, let's have different sections for all of them. But then at one point in time, we talked about it, and then we realized, right, why do that? Why other them again, right? By like pointing finger and saying, you're a survivor, so you belong in this section. And somebody who does not belong in a section is probably, what are you? You're not a survivor, so therefore you are the normal people. So we didn't do that. So the entire magazine is, you will have names, you probably may guess some names, staff names, but you may not even guess, because for the survivors, what we did in the interest of to protect their confidentiality was, we asked them to choose a pseudonym for themselves. And each one of them came up with a pseudonym for themselves. So whatever names you see are not the actual names of the survivors. So this was another way of making the survivors realize that they were part of us, right? They are like any of us, right? There is no identity called a survivor, right? And we didn't want to kind of put them in that slot and say, you are a survivor, so therefore you be on that side, and we are not survivors and will be on that side. We avoided that and put everything together, and that's what you will see in this magazine. And now we were going to do some readings from the magazine, not the entire magazine, because then that will take a long time, but just a few snippets so that you all have an idea of what is there. So first I would like to call upon Grace to read out 2 poems.
So I'll be reading the poems by Radha. Car. It was just a car. I will never see it again. I don't know why my heart felt heavy as I cleaned it one final time, wiped away the blurry fingerprints and tear stains of my struggles, scrubbed the fogged windows of my breath and faint smell of my existence. It was just a car, but it took me away from the sad and the hard. Its seat snuggled and nestled me comfortably. Its rearview mirror had shown me how far I had come. Its headlight had helped me see better and further. Now, I take a pledge to be happy with my new one. No matter where it takes, no matter what, I will ride the waves and the winds in the winds. Walk. I want to walk in rich solitude. I want to walk from the pain that I have learned to endure. I want to walk with boundless love and a fearless mind. I want to walk on fresh pastures of promise. I want to walk where the air will be kind and gentle. I want to walk under the sky, blushing with peace. I want to walk by the clear stream of reason that has not lost its way.
Yeah, you are muted.
Oh my God, I did it again. Sorry, guys. Okay, now I want to thank you, Grace. Those were two beautiful poems that you read out. Thank you for reading it out. Now I'd like to go to my most favorite part of the entire magazine, the conversation sections, right? Because that is where we actually engaged with the survivors, asked them a few, because some of them didn't know. When we told them, we are doing this magazine, can you do something and submit it to us? They didn't know what to do. So Zakia came up with this idea of asking them a few questions and actually having a conversation with them to and get their answers, and that's what has created this section of conversations. So, and in this section you will see two languages. Some of them are both in Hindi and then translated in English. I think we have a couple in Urdu, again translated in English. So now I would call upon Sneha to read two of the conversation pieces. Sneha, you're following me and you're please, okay.
Yes, I did the same thing. Sorry about it. Hello, everyone. I will be reading two pieces of writing, both in Hindi, and after each piece, I will read English translation. So starting with the first one. It's a loved memory of my childhood by Babu. बचपन में मैं बहुत शरारती हुआ करती थी. हमारे घर के पास एक पानी का पंप हुआ करता था. गर्मी के दिनों में जब घर के सारे लोग दोपहर में सोते थे, तब मैं अपने बुआ की बेटी और गांव के बाकी बच्चों के साथ पानी में खेला करती थी. हमारा बहुत बड़ा खेत था और दादाजी उसमें बहुत सब्जी तरकारी लगाते थे, जैसे कि गाजर, गोभी, साग, मकई, गन्ना. जब मैं खेत में जाती थी तो सारे गोभी खाकर डंठल यहाँ वहां फेंकती थी. दादाजी बहुत नाराज होते थे. उन दिनों में हम हमेशा ताजा ऑर्गेनिक खाना खाते थे. लगभग सब कुछ हमारे खेत में उगता था. मैं गन्ने बहुत खाती थी. सब लोगों को फ्री में खाना देते थे हमारे खेत में. आधा गांव हमारे खेत से खाना खाता था. कोई भी आता था, हम सबको फ्री में सब्जियां देते थे. कभी भी किसी को खाली हाथ नहीं भेजते थे. मुझे डांट पड़ती थी कि सब कुछ मैं लोगों को बांट दिया करती थी. And now in English. As a child, I was a very naughty girl. I had a water pump near our house. In summer, while everyone in the family used to take a nap in the afternoon, I used to play in the water with my cousins and friends from the village. We had a big farm and my grandpa had planted a variety of vegetables like carrot, cauliflower, saag, makai, sugarcane, etc. Sometimes grandpa used to get mad at me because after eating the cauliflower, I used to throw all the stalks all over the field. In those days, we always used to eat fresh organic food. Almost everything used to grow in our farm. I also used to eat sugarcane. We used to give free vegetables from our farm to our village people. Almost half the village used to get free food from our farm. We never sent anyone empty-handed. I used to give everything away, and sometimes I got scolded for the same. And now the second piece of writing, also in Hindi, by Billo. The topic is, what do you do to relax or de-stress yourself? पहले तो मैं अपने इमोशन पे सोच विचार करती हूँ, उनको समझने की कोशिश करती हूँ. फिर मैं चाय बनाकर गाने सुनती हूँ. इससे मेरा मन हल्का होता है और इससे मैं अपने काम पर भी ठीक से ध्यान दे पाती हूँ और अपने बच्चों का भी ख्याल रख पाती हूँ. English. At first, I think about my emotions and I try to understand them. Then I make a cup of tea and listen to music that helps me to relax. It also helps me to focus on my work and to take care of my children. Thank you.
Thank you, Sneha, for reading those out, because this conversations gives us a insight into the people that the individuals that are survivors are, right? Sometimes we are so caught up in their abuse and in the help that we are giving them, we may just fail to recognize them as humans and individuals with emotions and with experiences that they come with. So this conversation section is really, really very good in that. For me, it's my favorite part in that magazine. So moving on, I would now like to call upon Padma to read her poem.
Hello everyone. Thank you, Jaya and Jakia, for giving me this opportunity to read out my poem. I'm just opening my poem to read. So this is a simple poem with a simple message that I wrote on Thanksgiving Day 2020. Being grateful and thankful for what we have is a great virtue for anyone to be content in their lives. So here is my poem. There is always something to be grateful for. Yes, there is always something to be thankful for. Sometimes family may be annoying, family may be demanding, but I'm grateful that my family is very loving. Problems may be frustrating, progress may be disappointing, but I'm grateful that I'm still trying. Running may be straining, hiking may be tiring, but I'm grateful that I'm at least walking. Cooking may be boring, cleaning may be exhausting, but I'm grateful that my food is entertaining. Relationships may be confusing, interests may be conflicting, but I'm grateful that there is enough understanding. Friendships may be challenging, arguments may be embarrassing, but I'm grateful that the end result is convincing. The earth may be overheating, the resources may be shrinking, but I'm grateful that the sun is still shining and the seasons are changing. The flowers are still blooming and the birds are chirping. People are changing, their efforts are working. The world is amazing and living is exciting. There is always something to be grateful for. Yes, there is always something to be thankful for. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Padma. That was a beautiful and lovely poem about Thanksgiving. And now for the final reading, I'm going to hand it out to the poetess that we all know, who can just, at the drop of a hat, she can whip up a poem if you ask her. Mariam, take it away.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Jaya, for the kind words. Is it okay if I read the Urdu one first and then the English translation? Oh.
Yes, please.
जिंदगी तुझे क्या नाम दूं ऐ जिंदगी बता, पुरसुकून भी तुम, इत्मीना भी तुम, हमराज भी, हमनवा भी तुम, वो सुबह की ठंडी ओस भी तुम, और शाम की हल्की फिजा भी तुम, दुख भरे दिलों की दास्तां भी तुम, जो जुबान पे शायद आ ना सके, एक तड़प की ऐसी फुहां भी तुम, दिल के जख्म की वो चुभन भी तुम, उस दर्दे दिल की दवा भी तुम, मरहले तो हैं, मुश्किलें भी हैं, जो तुम हो अगर मंजिलें भी हैं, चंद फासलों का सफर है ये, तेरा साथ होगर तो फतह है ये, जब सजदे शुक्र में मेरा सर गिरे, जिंदगी का फिर मुझे फल मिले, तुझे क्या नाम दूं ऐ जिंदगी बता, पुरसुकून भी तुम, इत्मीना भी तुम. Now the English translation. Oh life, what label do I give you, life? You are peaceful, you are equable. You are my confidant, agreeable. Like the dew on a chilly dawn, ephemeral. Like the cool breeze of dusk, affable. Many a broken heart's lament, a sigh of woe framed in silence. You are the twinge of an open heart's wound, the cure as well to render it immune. There are obstacles and setbacks, trials and grief. But with you by my side, there's so much to achieve. This journey is but fleeting, temporary, but with you, it shall end with a victory. So I bow in prostration of gratitude for a life of abounding platitudes. What label do I give you, life? You are peaceful, you are equable. Thank you.
And now I'm handing it over to Rama.
So mine was supposed to be an official vote of thanks. So thanks to everyone that have already thanked everyone. So I will save time, but I'll share a few thoughts. I think as service providers, all of us obviously would love to do certain things. If somebody asked us, how would you design your ideal work life, given all the stress that we have? It's activities like these that would make it to the top of the list, right? Always, and it does. But most often these ideas don't see the light of day because we are most of the time firefighting and doing things that are that seem more tangibly critical. And I think Zakia thanked Asia Pacific Fund. I also want to thank them because they created such an RFP that we were able to include this activity as part of that grant application and have it pay for all the time and effort that we put it in. Being a responsible nonprofit, that's always a worry, where we don't just let ourselves go. So it really helped, and they couldn't be here today, even though we'd invited them, but I do want to take the time to thank them. And I hope, in terms of this question has already been asked, I hope this is only the first, and we'll find a way to improve and hone also what we do to work on our emotional well-being, and of course, specifically that of survivors. So big shout out, Jaya, Zakia, Shilpa, Sylvia, who's I think left the meeting. That was amazing. And Vishakha for what you're going to do and be doing, and everyone that contributed. When I was asked to contribute something to the magazine, the thoughts that bubbled in me and came out in the form of a poem eventually was really rooted in thinking about what our clients go through and the kind of the impact that DV and the trauma has on them and their personalities. And in a strange coincidence of timing, what we've all gone through because of the pandemic and how the experiences have been life-altering, the fears, the uncertainties, the isolation, and what it did to our personalities and the way our outlook on life. And so my poem, which I was asked to read a little bit, but I just wanted to share more about the thought behind it, was really looking into the mirror and seeing somebody you don't recognize and seeing somebody weighed down with all of those worries, and finding a way to reset yourself and to draw within an inner strength that each one of us has, if only we would look very deeply within. And that would bring for us the note of hope and the note of a better tomorrow. So on a closing note, I just want to read out the last two lines of my poem, which you all will anyway read when it's out. But for though the sun sets and there may be goodbyes, remember there will always be another sunrise. Thank you very, very much.